Hello and welcome to a new video on IGCSE Mathematics. In this video, we shall be discussing inverse functions. So we have a function here, f of x equals 2x minus 1. We want to find f inverse of x. The first step is we replace f of x with y. So we write y equals 2x minus 1. And then we switch the variables. So y becomes x and x becomes y. And we are required to isolate the y. So we take the 1 to the other side. So x plus 1 equals to 2y. And then we divide by 2. So x plus 1 over 2 equals to y. And then finally, we replace y with f inverse of x. So f inverse of x equals x plus 1 over 2. This is the final answer for this question. We are given three functions here, and we are required to figure out which one of these is equal to its inverse. So we have to do all of them and figure this out. For the first one here, we write y equals 2x minus 1, x equals 2y minus 1, x plus 1 equals to 2y, x plus 1 over 2 equals to y. And then we replace this with f inverse of x. So of course, this is not equal to f of x. They are not the same, so this is incorrect. Next, we start with the second function, g of x. So y equals 1 over x, and then we replace y with x again, and x becomes y. And then we want to isolate the y, so we can write here over 1, and we can cross multiply. So we get xy equals to 1, and then we divide by x on both sides, and we cancel these out. So y equals to 1 over x. So here f inverse equals to 1 over x, and f inverse is the same as f of x. I'm sorry, this is g inverse of x. So g inverse of x is the same as g of x. So this one here is correct. For the third one, we have h of x equals to 2 power x. So h of x equals 2 power x, and y equals 2 power x. So the problem with this one here is that you're not able to find the inverse in terms of algebra, but there is a trick that you can do, which is to figure out if the inputs and outputs can be reversed. What does that mean? So let's put in here x equals 1 and figure out what y will equal. So y will equal 2 power 1, which is 2. Now, if the inverse was the same function, you should put x equals 2, and then you should get y equals 1. So if we put 2 here instead of x, we get 2 power 2, which is 4. So the input and output do not switch. And since they do not switch, therefore, you cannot say that the inverse is the same function as h of x. So therefore, the third one as well is wrong. And we will go with the second option only, which is g inverse of x equals g of x. Here we have g of x, and we want to get g inverse of x. So y equals x minus 3 over 2. X equals y minus 3 over 2. We take the 2 to the other side. We get 2x equals y minus 3. We take the 3 to the other side. We get 2x plus 3 equals y. And then we remove y and we write g inverse of x. So therefore, the final answer is g inverse of x equals 2x plus 3. This is here the final answer. 2x plus 3 is the correct answer. Now, here we are not explicitly told to get the inverse. We're just told to get x in terms of y, which is the same as getting the inverse function. So y equals 3 over x plus 2. And we take the 2 to the other side. We get y minus 2 equals 3 over x. We write over 1 here and we cross multiply. We get x times y minus 2 equals 3. And then finally, we get x equals 3 divided by y minus 2. And that would be the final expression. 3 divided by y minus 2 is the correct answer here. In this case, we have y equals 5x plus 2, and we want to get the inverse, so we have to flip the variables. So x equals 5y plus 2. We take the 2 to the other side, we get x minus 2 equals 5y, and then we divide by 5, so x minus 2 divided by 5. Finally, we remove the y and we write g inverse of x. So this is the final expression. X minus 2 over 5 is the correct answer here. Y equals 3x minus 5. Again, we first flip the variables, so x equals 3y minus 5. We take the 5 to the other side, we get x plus 5 equals 3y. And then we divide by 3, so we get x plus 5 over 3 as the final expression. Of course, we write g inverse of x at the very end. So x plus 5 over 3 is the correct answer here. Y equals 3x plus 2. Again, and then we flip y and x. We get x equals 3y plus 2. We take 2 to the other side. We get x minus 2 equals 3y. We divide by 3. So y equals x minus 2 over 3. And then we replace the y with f inverse of x. And this is the final answer here. X minus 2 over 3. In this case, we have y equals 2x plus 1. We're going to replace x and y, so x equals 2y plus 1. And then we take the 1 to the other side, x minus 1 equals to 2y. We divide by 2, x minus 1 over 2 equals to y. Then we replace the y with h inverse of x. And this is the final expression, x minus 1 over 2. Of course, half times x minus 1 is the same as x minus 1 over 2. They are both correct. Y equals to 2x plus 5. We take the 5 to, first we flip the y and the x, excuse me. X equals 2y plus 5, and then we take the 5 to the other side. We get x minus 5 equals to 2y. We divide by 2, so y equals x minus 5 over 2, and we replace y with f inverse of x. And this is the final answer here, x minus 5 over 2. Again, y equals 3x minus 2, x equals 3y minus 2. We take the 2 to the other side, we get, we get x plus 2 equals 3y, and then we divide by 3, and we replace the y with f inverse of x, and this is the correct final answer. Y equals 5 minus 2x, x equals 5 minus 2y. We take the 2y to the other side, we get 2y plus x equals to 5. We take the 5 to the other side, we get 2y equals 5 minus x. And then we divide by 2, so y equals 5 minus x over 2. And this becomes f inverse of x. And this is the final expression, 5 minus x over 2. Here we have y equals 10 over x plus 1. So x equals 10 over y plus 1. We write over 1 and we cross multiply. So x times y plus 1 equals 10 times 1, which is 10. We want the y to be alone, so we remove the x here and we write it here. Y plus 1 equals 10 over x. Therefore, y equals 10 over x minus 1. And finally, we write g inverse of x equals 10 over x minus 1. And this is the final answer, 10 over x minus 1 is correct. Here we have y equals 2x minus 3. And then we flip the variables, x equals 2y minus 3. We take the 3 to the other side, we get x plus 3 equals 2y. Then we divide by 2. So y equals x plus 3 over 2. We can remove the y and write f inverse of x. And this would be the final answer here, x plus 3 over 2. Y equals 7x minus 2. X equals 7y plus 2. We take the 2 to the other side. We get x minus 2 equals 7y. We divide by 7. Y equals x minus 2 over 7. Finally, we replace y with f inverse. And this is the final answer, x plus 2 over 7. So I just made a small mistake here. This was minus and I made it plus. So this becomes minus here. And then when it goes to the other side, it becomes plus. This was my mistake. So it's actually x plus 2 over 7, not x minus 2. And that is the final answer. Y equals 5x minus 1 over 3. X equals 5y minus 1 over 3. We want to isolate the y. We can write over 1 and cross multiply. We get 3x equals 5y minus 1. You can take the 1 to the other side, and this would be 3x plus 1 equals 5y. And therefore, we can divide by 5. We get 3x plus 1 over 5 equals to y. And finally, we replace the y with h inverse of x. And this would be the final answer here, 3x plus 1 over 5. And this brings us to the end of our video. I hope this has been beneficial. Thank you for watching.